Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel with a big news story today, and that is that Kash Patel has been removed as acting ATF director. Well, I should say we don't know if he's been removed or just replaced. There could be a little bit of different connotation depending on the language there. All we know is that he's out. But before we get into the big news, this video is brought to you with the help of Blackout Coffee Company. Blackout Coffee is my go-to Second Amendment friendly coffee roaster that has all kinds of great smooth flavors that get me going every morning and sometimes again in the afternoon. I'm a toddler mom, just being real. They also have dedicated partner roasts that donate directly to some of your favorite gun rights groups like the Second Amendment Foundation, FPC, and GOA, so you can know that your money is not only going to a good product, but a good cause. So to get your morning grind and a cup of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate that you can be proud of, go to blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll, and if it is your first time, you can use code LibertyDoll for a one-time 20% discount. So, this big news hit on Wednesday afternoon and was first reported by Reuters before the official announcement hit the public. I don't think that as I'm recording this, we still even have a official public announcement from the DOJ. Now, I wrote this video a couple hours after the news dropped, and at that time, Patel's photo and title of acting director are still up on the ATF website. According to Reuters, he's been replaced by Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll. A DOJ official confirmed the move, said it wasn't due to Patel's performance, and didn't give any reasoning as to why he was removed or replaced. It was a pretty unusual appointment to begin with, being the head of both the ATF and the FBI, but Driscoll will continue on in his role as Army Secretary, so we have another person doing double duty. So I'm not inclined to believe that it was because Patel was doing double duty. Now, Driscoll was traveling on Wednesday and was in the Middle East earlier this week, so we don't know when exactly the shuffle happened. We also got news this week that Bondi is launching a Second Amendment task force, though we don't know what that will entail, what it'll be doing, and when it starts. The press release did say the task force is principally charged with developing and executing strategies to use litigation and policy to advance, protect, and promote compliance with the Second Amendment. So I suppose we can hope. But of the things that Trump and Bondi have supposedly asked the ATF to look at, the Vanderstock ruling / frame and receiver rule is not one of them. We also got the news the DOJ is investigating LA County and their licensing issues, not New York and their licensing issues, apparently. Also, especially in light of the Supreme Court deciding to not take on the case of good moral character in New York and letting good moral character stand as a licensing requirement. We also got a little line dropped that the ATF will be looking at the pistol brace rule again to see whether or not it stays or goes, and of course the zero tolerance policy got repealed as I talked about earlier this week. So some good news, some bad news, some we don't know news. There's a lot happening here in the Second Amendment sphere lately. Now, the press release on the zero tolerance policy revocation bore Patel's signature, and that was on Monday. According to sources inside the ATF, he showed up at headquarters the day he was sworn in and hadn't been back since, which supposedly made people at the ATF complain that their agency was weak and didn't have leadership. I wish it would stay that way. So maybe it's that Kash Patel couldn't pay as much attention to the ATF, but again, this new guy was appointed apparently while he was traveling across the world. As for Driscoll, well, the National Shooting Sports Foundation dropped a congratulatory press statement saying, President Trump's decision to appoint acting director Driscoll is indicative of his resolve to bring reform to the ATF and protect the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens in the industry that makes it possible to exercise those rights. The firearm industry is confident that President Trump's appointment of acting director Driscoll to lead the ATF will return the Bureau to its proper role as a law enforcement agency laser-focused on combating violent crime and illegal firearms trafficking, and to act as a nonpartisan regulator of the firearm industry. They also said that they're confident that Driscoll will view members of the firearms industry, including FFLs, as partners in the battle against gun traffickers and crime from the misuse of firearms. Driscoll is a former senior advisor to J.D. Vance and spent 4 years in the Army, including a 2009 deployment to Iraq. I couldn't find anything about him online on his Second Amendment stance or anything that could indicate which way he might go in terms of reigning in the ATF, so at the moment, it's a big unknown. Even FPC posted the news without any comment either way, as did Rob Romano, with lots of people on X asking what this means going forward. The short version is we don't know. We knew that Kash Patel was only going to be temporary, but we knew he was pro-gun, and this was a pretty quick switch. There is also rumor that the next man down is going to be replaced, but we don't know with who. Oh, and look at that, 12 hours later, and he's gone. We don't know who's replacing him yet, but bye, Felicia. Some people think that because this guy is former Army, he's absolutely going to be pro-Second Amendment, and other people are saying, oh, so now the military is in charge of ATF enforcement. At the very least, I don't think that he's going to be a Chipman version 2.0, because Chipman was very obviously working with the gun controllers. It was known. He had a record out there about it. This guy, at least, has not worked with Brady or Giffords or Everytown, as far as we know. I feel like a lot of the Second Amendment reporting recently has been, well, they said this and we don't know what that means. So this is another example, and I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Alright gang, that is it for this video. Big news, but I'm sorry that there's not more substance to it. I got what I got and that's it. But you guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please do them, and as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.